everyone, it's Sandy, and today I'm going to be showing you guys the books that I plan on reading this summer. I want to read as many books as I can this summer because I probably won't be reading as many books once the fall semester starts, and within this TBR I'm not going to be including any summer releases. Otherwise this video will be really long, but a majority of the books that I'm mentioning are books that are on my shelves and that I really hope that I can get to this summer. The first book on this TBR is The Fixer by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. You guys know how much I enjoyed the Natural series, which is a different series that's written by the same author, but I've also heard really great things about this book and I really want to read more of the author's work. This book is really similar to the TV show Scandal. Our main character is known as the Fixer, so she basically fixes scandals and makes these scandals disappear. The next book on my TBR is a book that I've been wanting to read for a really long time, and I'm surprised that I haven't read it yet because it's so popular, but this book is The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I know, I can't believe that I haven't read this book yet, but I really hope that I can get to it this summer. I haven't read many books that revolves around a circus, and obviously this one does, and I'm just really intrigued, especially since I've heard so many amazing things about this book. I also really hope the hype doesn't ruin the book for me, but we'll see. Hopefully it does not, because I really do want to enjoy this book and I want it to become a new favorite of mine as it is for so many people. So we'll see what I think about it whenever I get the chance to pick it up. The next book on my TBR is a book that I don't actually own yet, but it is Always and Forever, Lara Jean by Jenny Han. This is the third and final book to the To All the Boys I've Loved Before trilogy. I read and enjoyed the first two. Since this is the final book, I need to know what happens. I need to know how it ends for the characters. The next book on my TBR is The Starch Ice Cream by Roshni Chokshi. This is a book that's actually on my Diversity Bingo TBR. I'm not including all of the books that I plan on reading from Diversity Bingo into my summer TBR, but the books that are on both TBRs are books that I actually own, so those are the books that I do want to get to this summer because I want to get through as many unread books on my shelves as I can. I've heard a lot of mixed reviews on this book, so I think that's like one of the main reasons why I've pushed it off for so long, but I do really want to get to it this summer. I don't know much about this book other than the fact that it has to do with Indian folklore and mythology. Then I also want to read Falling Into Place by Amy Zhang. This is a book that has been on my TBR since it came out, but I haven't gotten around to picking it up, so hopefully this summer I am able to. The summary on the flap of the book is very vague, but I do know that this book follows a girl who crashes her car into a tree as an attempt to kill herself, and she ends up in the hospital, and it's kind of told through flashbacks that leads up to why the main character wanted to kill herself. This is another book on my Diversity Bingo TBR because it's written by an author of color. And the last book that's on my Diversity Bingo TBR that's also in my summer TBR is Under a Painted Sky by Stacey Lee. This book takes place in 1849 in Missouri, and it follows our main character, who is a Chinese American girl. She ends up meeting this runaway slave, and both of them disguise themselves as boys in order to travel through the Oregon trails. And Stacey Lee is an author that I've been wanting to read books from, so this is going to be my first Stacey Lee book, and I hope I enjoy it because I want to read all of her books. The next book is All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. This is a historical fiction book. It takes place during World War II, and it follows our main character, who is blind. Historical fiction is a genre that I don't really reach for, but I've heard amazing things about this book and it sounds really interesting. I haven't read a book that follows a main character who's blind, so I really want to read this to learn a bit from this perspective, and I've also heard fantastic things about this book. I'm never really in the mood for historical fiction, so I'm not sure if I'm going to actually pick this book up, but I really hope I do because it's been on my shelves for a really long time now. The next book is the first book in a series that I've been wanting to read for a really long time, and it is A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. This is also one of those popular series that I just haven't gone around to reading, but this is a book that I for sure plan on reading this summer. I don't really know much about this book other than the fact that it has to do with parallel worlds and magic, and those are keywords that has me immediately interested. I believe this is a trilogy, and I know that the third book came out a couple months ago, so if I end up really enjoying this book, then I will for sure pick up the other two books. The next book is Zeros by Scott Westerfeld, and this is another book that has been on my TBR for a really long time. This is also a pretty big book, so I haven't been really interested in reading it yet, but the plot of it does sound really interesting. The only thing I know about this book is that it follows characters with superpowers, and I am always down for books that have characters with powers. I tend to really enjoy books that have characters with powers, even though that idea isn't completely original anymore, but I'm really interested in how authors make that unique within their own books, and I'm really excited excited to see this whole power structure within this book. The next book is And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. I have not read an Agatha Christie book before, but I've been wanting to because she is a well-known author that's known for thriller, mystery books, and you guys know how much I enjoy reading books from that genre. This is one of her most famous novels, and it basically takes place on an island, and everyone that's invited on this island are slowly being killed off one by one. That just sounds so interesting. The second to last book on my TBR is Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn, and I keep forgetting that I own this book because it's on my paperback shelf, and it's a small paperback too, so whenever I do look at my shelves, my eyes just roam past this book. I'm not exactly sure how many books Gillian Flynn has out. I've read Gone Girl and Dark Places, and I want to read all of her books, and this is one that I haven't read yet. This book follows a woman named Camille who is investigating the murder of 2 girls, and that is all I know. And the very last book in this TBR is Summer Days and Summer Nights, edited by Stephanie Perkins. Obviously, this is a perfect book to read during the summer because this is an anthology that includes 12 short stories written by 12 different authors that revolves around summer, and I missed my chance reading it last year, so I am for sure reading it this summer. Those are all the books in my summer TBR. If you read any of these books, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Bye!